Go ahead. Snacks. Kind of left me hanging there. Huh.
Well, you can still hear me, right? What I'm saying is just give me a second, something happened.
Oh, okay.
Ah. All right. I will be back in just a moment.
All right. Yeah, I did see that Byron Murphy's burner. Pretty interesting. I wish our facilities were a little bit better, given how rich our owner is. You would kind of expect that as a given, but the scores overall were really good. I like Jaron Reed, but it depends on how much it's going to be. We do need maybe a little bit of depth at 3 tech, but we got to be careful there because we've already spent so much with Big Cat and Murphy. I don't want to sign another 3 tech for a big amount of money. So that to me only really makes sense if you plan to play him at nose tackle. And maybe that would work.
They're going to be exterminated. I need help.
Yeah, I know, Big Country. I saw that too. I was talking about that earlier with Snacks. Mm-mm. Hey, Austin.
I'm glad you're here. Stop changing.
Oh, shit. Also, that implies that he wasn't really focusing on basketball while he was doing his podcast, which is really messed up. What'd you say there? Oh.
Take down that brute! Gonna cut you down! Alarm! Alarm!
Be right back again. I just have to disconnect from here, so I'm letting you know.
Oh, okay.
Alright, yeah, I'll be back when I can.
Yeah, that's fine.
Inbound on your position.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent comp, Austin.
We will be there in 30 seconds. Climbing up now. Where are you? Don't you want to come out and You're more than you can imagine. That will purify you. Stay where you are.
Don't care. Being an idiot.
I'm going in! We'll get Kale eventually.
Alright, well, anyway, sorry about that.
Everything good?
Yeah, everything's fine over here.
All right.
Kale's in my sight!
So
I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. And I don't want to, I mean, you know me, I'm the keep calm guy. But something very good may end up happening soon, so keep your fingers crossed for me.
okay, so you personally, not like Half-Life 3 might be announced
Yes.
or something.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Me personally. And what I mean by that is a big financial windfall.
Okay.
Should that happen. So like I said, keep calm. Because honestly, it's not totally likely. But, you know, I'm not talking about winning a lottery ticket here. It's more just like something might actually work out for me for once.
All right. Can't go too wrong there.
Keep your fingers crossed, bro. Like, I don't know how long it's going to take people to catch up to this idea, but we live in the post-Doge world now. And they drew the curtain way back on the fact that, you know, aside from just all the different media organizations that employ Jews, employ leftists, employ borderline communists, and all the different shit that they just make up, we also have seen literally, it's in the receipts, that news organizations specifically were paid by either the Obama administration or the Biden administration literally to spread misinformation, literally to lead the general populace towards believing something else, to propagandize the populace. That is literally what they even said the money was for in the USAID receipts. And yet people will still post articles to these same news organizations that are critical of Donald Trump or of Elon Musk, and then be like, you see, look at this, the news says that they're bad. And I'm like, yeah, the same news organization that was literally paid by their political enemies to quite literally write propaganda. I mean, when the USAID funding was frozen for a couple of days, Politico literally couldn't pay their employees. And people still fall for this shit. All the time. I know that people are just set in their ways and they can't, like, think straight anymore, but Jesus Christ, you know?
Yeah, I hear you.
Before they kill me.
That's why I've been that's why I say what I've said a lot recently. It's like we really are in an info war.
Big time.
Just how many people can you convince of your side of the story? So, I don't know if you saw this, Snacks, because you've been so busy lately, but Zelensky... Do you remember that Seinfeld grok you had where George and Newman start fighting because Newman thinks that George owes him $50 and George is like, that was a gift, not a loan?
Oh man, do you have the link to that one? Because it sounds like a banger.
I might be able to get it. Give me a few minutes here. Okay. Yeah, there we go.
All right, let me read this for a second. Yes, it was a banger. I couldn't even remember that part. You could have just said the part where Kramer yells at the guy out the window.
Okay, well, the reason why I bring that up is because Zelensky's trying to do that now. He's trying to claim that the $500 billion the U.S. has given him so far is not a loan. It was a grant. So he doesn't believe he should have to pay it back.
Oh, man.
So I saw that and I was like, this sounds familiar.
Especially considering Jason Alexander's true identity. No, all that does is make me think of the, the famous joke, with the Jewish father and his son asking for money. But instead, Zelensky's like, $500 billion? There's no way I'm going to pay back $400 billion. The hell do you need $300 billion for? Okay, fine. You'll get you $200 billion. Hand them $100 billion. Let it with Canada.
Alright, let me see if I can find it real quick here.
Oh my god.
Okay, there. I mean, I don't know how Ukraine's going to pay that money back anyway, to be perfectly honest. Like, I can't
Well,
imagine
they're
they're
not.
anything other than destitute after everything that's going on.
Exactly. And even before then, like, what was Ukraine's GDP before the war? Ukraine's GDP before the war was $200 billion. This made Ukraine one of the poorest nations in all of Europe. So it would take the entirety of their GDP, almost 3 years, to be able to pay that back if they kept none of their own production. And you know damn well that GDP doesn't actually really say very much about the economy. Because just how fucking retarded it is. You know, it's one of my favorite jokes is a man fucks his wife and nothing happens. A man fucks a prostitute and when he goes to pay her, the GDP goes up.
Right.
You know, it's just a complete fucking meme. So in terms of actual production, because you got to think also how much illegal fucking slush funds and embezzlement and everything else that's, you know, just all this dirty money that's being funneled in from the United States becomes quote unquote part of the Ukrainian economy.
Mercy! Please have mercy!
So that GDP is about as fraudulent as Zelensky's hold on his office. So yeah, you know, there's no way that they'd be able to pay that back because even before the war, they were one of the poorest countries in Europe and incapable of being able to do something like that after the war. They may have a worse economy than some countries in Africa. So, you know, it's completely cooked. However,
What do you think you're doing?
that the premise is not that they'll actually pay it all back, that they'll write a big ass check and hand it over to Trump. What would happen instead is we have a debt of $500 billion we must pay to the United States. Ergo, we are both, number one, their slaves, so we have to do whatever they tell us, number one. And number two, you know, the alleged trillions of dollars of precious metals in Ukraine's soil that, you know, all this discussion about mining it, you know, it essentially would turn into, okay, the United States basically owns that now, and we have the mining rights. So, you know, the best that you can hope for is that we use Ukrainian labor to dig all that shit up, but you're not actually getting any of this stuff yourself. Which is brutal, but that's the way of the world, you know. Plus, and we really need to keep these kinds of things in mind, Ukraine just lost a war, so they're really not any kind of position to negotiate. At this point, the most that they can hope for is their continued survival as an independent nation. But I mean, even then, like, being a de facto vassal of the United States in all but name is, you know, the only alternative to outright annexation by Russia, because most of their male population is dead. They're going to have a devastating birth rate crisis in several years. The longer this war goes on, the worse that gets, and their economy is essentially never going to recover. Which is astonishing because Ukraine has some of the most fertile soil in the world and would be an extraordinarily successful agricultural nation if it hadn't have been for decades of communism just completely obliterating all of that. I hate to see it, but there's not a lot you can do.
RJ, I can almost see your furrowed brow from here.
Hagen, what do you want?
Oh, I'm merely calling to check up on you. I hear your little friends are having a bit of a spat. It must be hard. What with you in the middle of it all? Choices are difficult. Trust me, I've been there. In fact, you should be grateful for the choices I've made. Choices like Yuma. I went on live television to serve her up to you, and I loathe television. Radio is so much more my thing. And you, you jumped on the opportunity. Poor Yuma. She will be missed. It was a tough call to make, picking you over her. But it was the right call. You'll see. Of course, you're in a hurry, places to go, shit to tear up. I'll let you get back to it. But don't forget, RJ, choices have consequences.
Oh shit! How'd I get myself into this mess?
Ajay, I need you to listen to me very carefully. When you confront Amita, she will do her best to talk you into letting her go. You cannot believe a word she says.
Well,
She is a
when was this game made? Far Cry 4?
respect for her own heritage, her own history. The future
Check, just a
of Kira
second.
depends on your ability to follow through with this mission. Do not falter. And Ajay, this is what your father would have wanted. Make him proud.
"2014.
Okay, so that was before the culture really got completely infected. So hopefully me choosing to side with the male character and betray the female character will not end up leading to an objectively bad ending. But we're going to find out.
How could you betray us?
You. He sent you to kill me. I knew it'd come to this with you.
Who else pulls the trigger around here?
Good point. Sabal hides behind his blind faith in tradition, and you follow along like one of his subjects? I actually believed you when you said all you wanted to do was honor your mother's dying wish. Go on, son of Mohan, savior of Kirat. Follow your orders, pull the trigger. I'm sure it's the will of Kira.
Yeah, I've seen this many times, and I've told you a lot before, you know, that I find black women attractive. Not all of them, of course, but probably more than like the typical guy. But seeing that picture scares the hell out of me. It really does. Because, I mean, you could sit there and just meme that Robert De Niro's genes are, like, super weak or something. But Christ, it doesn't even look like the mother either. It just looks like some kind of fucking half-retarded mongoloid child.
The gods will do that.
It doesn't look like anybody.
Have a dictator to kill
It's horrifying.
the war to end.
Was it all worth it?
Pretty much, man. So, like, when I see that kind of shit, I'm just like, man. Even if I, like, desperately loved a woman that was, you know, a different ethnicity, I still wouldn't. I'd just be like, maybe we should adopt. 'Cause holy fuck, man. That's horrifying. Because you're like, you know, even the fact that I'm mixed, you know, I look a lot like my dad, but at the same time, I also look a hell of a lot like my mom's family. Like, considering how bad it could have been, you know, looking at pictures of, like, Robert De Niro's kid, I definitely got the long end of the stick genetically, in terms of how that worked out. And thank God for that. But, yeah, it's... Every time I see that, it scares the shit out of me.
No! Please! I can pay you!
I don't understand why people keep saying this game is woke. I almost fell asleep during the intro.
I don't know why anyone would say it's woke either.
Oh, Avowed? No, that was the joke that people were making about, that's the joke that Donkey made about Avowed. He was another joke was, people keep saying this game is woke, I don't know why. I almost fell asleep playing the intro. It seems to me that Donkey's whole thing, and maybe this is kind of a tautology when you think about it, but it seems like the only thing he cares about with video games is that they're fun. And it seems just like he's constantly frustrated that fun tends to be low on the list of priorities for a lot of modern games.
Sorry, I didn't really hear that. Could you say that again?
No, I was just talking about Donkey. You know, watching
Yes.
his videos. It
Right.
seems to me that his whole thing is, you know, he just seems perpetually frustrated with how much of modern games is like, they don't really care if the game's fun. Like, that's the only thing he cares about.
Yeah.
And he just seems
Yeah.
perpetually frustrated that game,
Yeah.
it seems like being fun
Yeah.
is not a priority anymore.
Right. And you're correct, it's not, because for a lot of people they're trying to do some kind of thing where, you know, they're like, if I write the correct things, if I write the correct things, then eventually I'll be able to leave this shit heap of an industry behind and I'll be able to get a job doing the thing I really want in movies or TV. And these people don't actually care about game design. You know, it's the whole reason that all these engines that used to be independent to studios, everybody used to have their own engine, is dying off and everybody's just using Unreal, is because, you know, they outsourced a lot of the work to shitter countries where people can't be expected to have the slightest fucking idea of what the hell they're doing. And all the people who knew how to develop using that engine have retired. Because, a good example is Konami making the Metal Gear Triangle. They're not using the Fox engine, but fucking the Phantom Pain came out 10 years ago. How many people are still with Konami that even worked on that game? So yeah, they probably switched to the Unreal Engine because they don't even fucking... No one even knows how to use the Fox engine to develop anymore. And it's like that for every single other company. Too many people are trying to make games with the intention of it being like games as something to watch. Because they're like, we're making this game for Twitch streamers to play it and people to watch the experience. Not for it to be an enjoyable experience to play, but for it to be a very cinematic experience for you to watch. And that's boring as shit when it comes to actually playing it. So if you're somebody like Dunkey, who literally has made a living off of playing video games, it's constantly going to be boring as hell to you. And that's why it's always a breath of fresh air, anytime he praises a game and has a lot of positive things to say about it. How often is it a game that has an amazing story? Almost never. But it's always the game that's fun.
Right, like Astrobot.
Right. Which is the whole fucking point. I mean, Jesus Christ. We call them video games. Games are supposed to be fun. I mean, isn't that the thing that I constantly tell people, when they get mad at sports? And I'm all like, you shouldn't. Because I used to a hell of a lot. And then I sat there and I said, why am I so upset about this? Sports is supposed to be fun. It's literally a game. And if you're not having a good time, then just fucking quit. And of course, I know not everybody can do that, but still.
I'm ready for more.
And the Lord said, who shall I send? And you answer, saying, I am
Michael Moore
here,
did the meme
send
again,
me." Your devotion
talking about
is
how
miracle.
illegal immigrants could
Lord,
become doctors that cure cancer or end up being an astronaut that colonizes Mars.
Find him,
Based.
follow him, get the diamonds and bring him back.
My favorite of the riddle me this racist memes is, how is it that immigrants strengthen our country but not their own?
What verse is that?
the word of God does not always come in the form of chapter and verse. Where did you go?
Absolutely.
Which is, of course, an excellent question.
I like this
I mean,
one.
did you see that fucking Bill Maher thing I sent you earlier?
Yes,
that was
I
hilarious.
did. You think he knew what he said as he was saying it?
Almost certainly.
Come on. Yeah, the thing is, though, not saying this is a majority or anything, but there are quite a few people out there who argue that Rockstar stopped caring about their games being fun back in the days of, like, the original Manhunt. Like, after that, like, they Like, something like Red Dead, and I don't know if Donkey liked Red Dead 2, but that's a game where it's like there's a lot of effort being put into making it this beautiful experience. But it would not shock me if Donkey thought that Red Dead just wasn't very fun. Because he's like, okay, so the horse's testicles shrink in the winter because it gets cold. Great, but how is that really helping me? How is that getting me what I want out of this experience? It's not.
Yeah. I'd also vehemently disagree with that premise, because the original Manhunt came out in 2003, and Grand Theft Auto 4 came out in 2008. They were very concerned about making sure that GTA 4 was fun. They put a ton of brand new systems in there because they thought it was going to be an experience and a half, and there are people who still play the fuck out of GTA 4 to this day.
Yeah, I love GTA
Because
4.
yeah, it was a fantastic game.
Yeah, there are a lot of gamers out there who just despise anything open world. And I think Red Dead does fall under that umbrella. Like, I know some people who just can't stand that game because of the,
Right.
which I can kind of sympathize with. I like open world. But I understand the frustration being it feels like a lot of things get copy-pasted across the map. Right. I don't think that's an unreasonable take. Dude, how is that on me? Hell are you?
Oh man. They're cutting food stamps. That's so based. Hell yeah. So happy.
Do people use food stamps at your gas station job ever?
I can't really say because I barely get customers when I was on overnight shifts, so maybe I will when I'm on afternoon shifts. But at the same time, while I would get more customers, I only work that one day a week now, so no idea. I haven't asked. I don't even know if we take food stamps.
But you do take EBT?
EBT is food stamps.
Oh, I thought EBT was like a credit card that functioned similarly.
Well, it is, yes, but EBT is specific to California. Because food stamps is SNAP, that's supplemental nutrition something. I think the P is for program, but I don't know what it is. Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Depending on where in the country you are, it can go by different names. It goes by EBT in California because in California they have what is called the Electronic Benefit Transfer Card, where your SNAP benefits are loaded on there like a debit card. But people just call the food stamps EBT because that's how you're accessing your food stamp money. And if I remember correctly, not very many other government support funds can be loaded on EBT, but I'll check right now. Yeah, EBT is for food stamps only. So yeah, it's just a California thing, that's all.
I feel like we have it in Washington State. I feel like I've seen stuff with it. You know, the sign saying we take or we don't take EBT.
Oh, I miss Gabby. My poor little kitty.
Find out who did that and bring him to me. Don't discuss anything. My head.
So I'm reading right now about a battle. Battle of Covadonga. And this is an important battle that was fought in the year of our Lord 722
Okay.
between the army of Pelagius of Asturias, who would go on to found the kingdom of Asturias, which would eventually, its descendants would form the kingdom of Castile, and that would then afterward form the kingdom of Spain. So this is essentially the beginning of the Reconquista, where the man who would go on to someday found the Spanish dynasty won an important battle against the encroaching Islamic hordes, and was the turning point. And what's really amazing about this battle here is this common thread throughout history, where the reason that they were able to succeed and fight, because with Pelagius, the king, he's only got 300 men with him, literally. And they're fighting a force of about 10,000 or so. And they win. And they win because they essentially did the Battle of Thermopylae all over again, where the defenders decide to camp out in a very narrow passageway with cliffs on one side, so that the enemy's numerical advantage is just completely taken away.
Right.
And then because that army was made up of mostly slaves, as Islamic armies have so often tended to be, once they started getting their asses kicked, they broke easily, and battle's over, they win. So like I was saying, I'm sitting here laughing because, holy crap, what is it about conquering Islamic armies where they just constantly keep falling for the same trap? At some point, if you see a small force of guys who are just holed up in like the best ground you've ever seen, you should just not engage.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Like, leave a token force behind to make sure that they can't escape, and then just starve them out. But if you're a prideful conqueror, you can't really do that kind of thing.
Right.
It's just very, very funny.
Be right back. Cannot believe we almost had a Christopher Nolan directed James Bond. And they just decided, no, we don't need to completely change the series. We don't need to completely revolutionize.
And the Lord said,
Yeah, like I said, man, and I 100% feel this way, straight up.
I am here.
Pierce Brosnan should have done Casino Royale and then Skyfall, and then that'd be the end of it.
Mhm.
I come from a land of
Because
and misery.
the studio that does the Bond films,
So long.
they had actually written Casino Royale with the intention of Pierce being the Bond for it.
Right.
They decided to recast him and have Daniel Craig do it, and then he inherited that story, but it had already been written.
These wanted travel documents.
And considering Pierce Brosnan's age,
And this one.
let's see here. So 1953,
A sick child and he tried to kill me for it. I cannot.
2006, 19 years ago. So he was 52. That's not bad. He was 52 when Casino Royale came out,
Work to do.
and you know they hadn't come up with the idea for Skyfall yet, but you know all the same writers and everything were still employed by the studio, so they easily could have. And especially considering that you know Judi Dench as M was introduced with Pierce Brosnan,
Not get drunk with wine.
they really should have had Pierce doing Skyfall 2 as a final send-off, because it'd make perfect fucking sense. He'd be in his mid-50s at that time.
Right.
So the story would actually have fit perfectly and thematically and everything, you know?
I guess because Die Another Day was so goofy, it just felt like people wouldn't take Brosnan and Bond as seriously as they needed for fucking...
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing. Die Another Day actually basically ruined what would have been two back-to-back masterpieces, and would have absolutely clinched Brosnan's legacy as perhaps the greatest Bond. Because imagine if instead of Die Another Day, we just got Casino Royale and then Skyfall for Pierce.
But we should probably share the food with some of the locals.
Yeah.
So we could have had GoldenEye, The World Is Not Enough, Tomorrow Never Dies, Casino Royale, and Skyfall. That would have been a robust filmography for Pierce.
Yeah. Like, of those, the worst is probably The World Is Not Enough. If you were to, like, rank those five, I think the worst would probably be The World Is Not Enough. And that movie's still fine.
Yeah. Yes, The World Is Not Enough is far superior of a Bond film than, you know, the lesser enjoyed Craig ones, which is, you know, 3 out of the fucking 5 for Christ's sake. And even though Die Another Day was very meh and very goofy, I still enjoy that more than like Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, that's probably... I think I agree with that. Like, Quantum of Solace just kind of turned him into, like, a brute. All he did was punch people and run through walls and...
Well, the really weird thing about Quantum of Solace is, like, it just felt so out of place. Because you could tell that they were very clearly trying to set up this group Quantum with the Mr. White character that he gets at the end of Casino Royale as being like the Craig Bond version of, you know, the Spectre group and all that shit. You know, these are the shadowy bad guy organization. But then they shut them down in the same movie that they fucking introduced them in. And then they literally just end up doing Spectre again anyway, which is just so bad.
Spectre was
The only...
goofy.
Yeah,
remember.
the only thing you can credit the Craig Bond films with at the end of the day is extraordinary cinematography and visuals, which makes a lot of sense because they were winning Oscars left and right for that shit. But like the writing just gets so bad. And outside of Casino Royale, which again was written during Pearson's tenure as Bond, and Skyfall, which is like a generationally good film, the rest of it is just slop. Which makes a hell of a lot of sense because the rest of them are the ones that Daniel Craig had a hell of a lot of influence on. And when they were like, no, Daniel, we're going to do things our way, that was when it was actually good.
Big Country, who is the best Bond? I still think the best Bond in terms of how he was played is still Connery. I don't know if there's really like who's second place? Like Roger Moore played Bond a lot, but I don't really like his Bond that much because it was so goofy.
Yeah, a lot of those films are just pure goof and cheese. Pierce Brosnan, I feel like he had the absolute best perfect look and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just other than I don't feel like Brosnan ever got that great Bond film. GoldenEye was his best one, and I don't know if I think that's a great Bond film. It's very good.
Sean Bean did a lot of heavy lifting there.
Mm-hmm. And Craig could have been the GOAT, I think, but looking back on it,
Yeah.
wasted opportunity.
Yes, he couldn't help but getting in his own way. In terms of the library, my favorite Bond is Craig, but I hate Craig. I hate Craig the man, not as Bond, not the movies. Because I mean, even though I'm like, man, Spectre was goofy, and like I never even saw the fucking what is it, No Time to Die?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never even saw that one. So I was just trashing Quantum of Solace and Spectre, but like I still enjoy those movies, and I would much rather watch any of Craig's movies than any given Roger Moore one.
Right. And like
It's tough, when it comes to this stuff, you've kind of got to like just headcanon a lot of it.
Right. It's like Connery has a couple ones that are pretty slop. But
Yes.
again, you have two different questions. Who had the best Bond films and who was the best Bond? Like, I will always believe that Michael Keaton was the best Batman. It's just his movies weren't any good. Like, Keaton plays Bruce Wayne / Batman in such an interesting way. Like, Bale does really well, but I don't think he adds the personal element of what made Keaton's Bruce Wayne become Batman. It's just they never gave Keaton a very good film, I don't think. I guess the first Batman's okay, but I don't think that movie's good. It was just really funny growing up on Connery Bond films and then realizing that Sean Connery in real life and in most of his other roles is not anything like that. He's not this suave and sophisticated person at all. He's actually like this fucking bar fiend. who smacks women for no reason and gets in fights and is generally
Based.
kind of a degenerate. Oh god, this car doesn't work. Oh god, I'm dead. Like, I think Henry Cavill was a really good Superman, but they never gave him a decent film. Except maybe Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that film's just okay. And he's not in it for very long anyway. In fact, every Henry Cavill movie where he's Superman is kind of awful, except for the extended Justice League. I know that movie got revisionist history, but I really didn't like Man of Steel. I know some people are trying to like, oh no, Man of Steel was actually great.
Michael Shannon is fantastic, and he easily was the best part of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like straight up, that movie was not good. No.
That
No,
might be the
it's
most
like-
disappointed I've ever been in a movie, honestly.
Right. You know, it's like it's like fucking the Red Letter Media meme. You leave those children alone, Zod. Oh no, wait, that's Superman. You leave those children alone, Superman. No, Superman, don't do it. The bus is full of children.
I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea for there to be a conflict in a Superman movie where he keeps killing innocent people when he's trying to fight the bad guys. Like, that is something that would probably happen, especially when Superman's first starting out. But they don't address that in the movie at all. It's just there. And like at the end of the movie, after the big fight, the woman who works at the Daily Planet like comes out of the rubble and there's like dead bodies strewn all over the place and the whole city's been trashed. And she's like, he saved us. And it's like, what do you mean? He didn't save anybody. Everyone's dead. And there's like a lot of really good stuff in Man of Steel under the surface, but there's no effort on the part of the actual film to like pull it out and make it actually part of the movie. Like the early, like the first half hour of the movie's on Krypton, and I think what is supposed to be going on in that scene is that every single Kryptonian except for Russell Crowe basically is operating under the philosophy of, you know, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Like, they cannot conceive of doing anything different than what they're used to. Like, they find out that Krypton, the planet, is gonna explode in a couple weeks. And Russell Crowe's explaining this to them. And the council is like, well, what are you saying? Are you really suggesting we should evacuate the planet? And it's like, yeah, because it's gonna blow up. So she's probably, you know, that's probably somebody who cannot think laterally in the way that you need to be able to conceive of something like that. To her, like, this is our home, we're gonna be here forever. There's no leaving. But they don't discuss that. And then, you know, General Zod, or is it General Zod or Commander Zod? Shit. It's General Zod, right? Yeah, it's General Zod. He wants to solve everything with violence because that's his hammer. To him, everything looks like a nail, and that everything gets solved with violence. I need to find a new home for my people. I'm going to destroy Earth and kill all humans to do it. Rather than try to find another planet. Because he has the big terraforming machine. That could turn any planet into Krypton if he really wanted to. But he doesn't think about that kind of stuff. Because he's a warrior. And that's a cool idea, but they don't actually address it in the movie at all. Oh, be right back. Sorry I was gone so long.
Yeah, no problem.
I had to take care of something.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. So they're saying that at least some of the Epstein list will be released tomorrow.
Yeah. I gotta say, I don't think anybody's taken bigger L's than people who don't like Trump over the whole Epstein thing, because they're constantly like, oh my god, I can't wait for Trump to release the Epstein files, and it shows that Trump is on the... And it's all like, are you people actually fucking retarded? Why do you continue to think that he's a big Epstein guy when he's the guy who's pushing for the fucking shit to come out? Like, are you retarded? It's gotta be one of the stupidest fucking things. And then, you know, of course they're gonna be like, oh, Trump wasn't on the list, I guess that means he censored it. And it's all like, you know, considering we know where this kind of bullshit leads, fuck the First Amendment. If you're a communist, you should be hanged. If you say something retarded and communist, you should just go. Get out.
I mean, the left is doing a great job making fascism look cool sometimes, it feels like. So,
Yeah. You know.
I get it. Even as I can't necessarily endorse it.
Yeah. So how far are you? Like, what's the last thing that happened story-wise?
The last thing that happened story-wise was I killed one of the two factions that I could have sided with. Basically, I chose to side with the brother, so I killed the sister.
Okay, so you killed the sister. What's the status of Pagan Min?
He is alive for the moment, but I assume sometime in the next 3 missions he goes down. Because that's all that's left in the campaign.
Well, what happened the last time you interacted with him? The last time you saw him in the story, what happened?
Well, he gave me a call on the radio right before I killed Amrita, if that's what you're talking about.
Well, no, last time you were, like, with him.
Oh, that was when I was in the prison. You don't see Pagan Min that much in the game. He talks to you on his radio a lot.
Right. Which is why I was asking, because, you know, it's generally a good way to gauge where you are based off of the last face-to-face you had with him.
Mm-hmm.
South America, I think. Or perhaps Cuba. There are still many scenes for me to atone for. Thank you, AJ. Thank you for showing me that there are still true believers willing to do righteous work. It is a debt that will not be forgotten. I have left you something as a token of my gratitude.
No, this one's an absolute all-timer.
Mark 16, verse 15. And he said unto them, go forth into the world and proclaim the gospel
Jesus
to
Christ.
all of creation. Go forth now, AJ, and preach your own sermons.
Okay. So, let's go do the next story mission. There are only 3 left.
They're going to be exterminated. I need help.
God damn it.
Pass in the area, please respond.
My bees! Won't somebody please think of my bees? They're going to be exterminated.
All these creatures have been through, how can they go back to normal life?
Look, I have a situation. Campus suffering from
You are the reason we were able to hold the outpost. Thank you.
I think 5 was... I think 5... They're very similar. I think I liked 5 better because I like the interface more. But they're very, very similar. They both just kind of blend together. I like both games. I like playing games like this. Get a lot of fun out of stuff like this, but I'd say I liked 5 a little bit more. Also, even though Snacks ended up not liking it, 5 I played co-op, which I think is a more engaging experience. You don't need them.
Finally, no more arguments. No more spinning in circles.
Ajay, we've been waiting for you. Everybody is rallying for one final push. We're hitting Pagan's fortress. It won't be easy. I heard about Amita. Whatever you're feeling, just know that Sabal only wants what's best for Kirat. We have to get going. Glad to have your help with the assault. You're a good fighter, yaar.
Death to Pagan men!
Oh. Sorry. Thought you were an enemy.
Arey, do something about those machine gun nests!
Hit the guys with the arms!
Fighters, 11 o'clock.
I'm headed up! We are the No one will ever find your proof!
Go! 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 Hurry up!
Push forward!
Do this!
Push up! Push up! You ever have a hot knife up your ass? You will! I am going to end you! You are about to get gutted!
Killing you brings me no joy. Go! Go!
Keep up the fire! This is second nature, man! I'm going to clean!
Any Boffins died to bring us this information. and start killing Bothans. And don't stop until I tell you.
Ajay, use explosives to breach the main gate.
Remember what we're fighting for! It's our fight! You're going to need explosives to get through that gate! Make them fight for every year! Get through the gate! Hit it with the explosives!
The gate is breached. Move it.
Go! Our fight! Think of your family! Stand your ground!
We have the armory.
I got it. Yeah, I think Ubisoft's just going to churn out an endless stream of games that are either good or average and never really, like, do anything great, or, again, it's just going to stay in its pocket. It's kind of like, I was going to say it's kind of like where the MCU is right now, but the MCU has definitely made a couple of bad movies recently, so it's just kind of trying to stay in its lane. And as we saw with Far Cry 6, people have finally gotten sick of that.
What we did, half a minute.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Assassin's Creed Shadows may be the actual really awful game they make.
We've taken the headquarters!
We're on our way to you.
Look for any signs of the enemy. I copy! Hold it up!
We've secured the communications room! They won't be able to call for reinforcements now!
Yeah, Black Flag was the best game they've made in a while, for sure. Oh yeah, I remember the Skull and Bones. Wasn't that the quadruple A game? Right? That was the game they were like was the first ever quadruple A game, Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
A certified hood classic. Alright. We're destroying the statue of Pagan Min.
Long live the Golden Bat!
Really, RJ? What do you have against my likeness? All those posters, Eric, my double, and now this. Am I missing a hint? Should I start taking this personally? That statue was solid fucking gold. Literally. I'm not being metaphorical. Do you know how many artifacts I had to melt down to get it made? And poor Eric standing there for God knows how long just to pose for it. Well, what's done is done. And dinner's nearly ready.
Maul, I got the gate open. I'm heading for the palace.
The Royal Guard is counterattacking. We can't support you.
I'm going in.
Kira be with you, brother.
Okay. Yeah, my dad would love a new Splinter Cell game, but that franchise is just fucking dead. He loved those games. Alright, here we go. We're confronting Pagan Min. So we're about to see him again for the first time in a while.
Come in. I apologize for the austerity. I sent the help home. Chances are you shot them on your way in. Now, before we begin, to whom am I speaking? The son who returned to scatter his mother's ashes, or the lunatic who has murdered his way to the top of my mountain? If I was speaking to the first guy, then I would say, sit down. Let's be civilized. Enjoy some food. But we tried that before, didn't we? At our first meeting? You sat right here. Paul was off applying voltage to the nipples of your rude little +1. I stood just like this. And what were my exact words? Stay here, enjoy the crab rangoon, don't move, I'll be right back. Now, if you had just listened, just waited for me, then we would have come back here straight away, together, and scattered your mother's ashes. So then you must be the second guy, who didn't listen, decided instead to join the other monkeys and start throwing his shit around.
That's racist.
But I'll tell you what. I call a do-over. I say you have two choices. One, you could shoot me, boring, or you could sit down, enjoy some food, and you and I will go scatter your mother's ashes together.
Alright, I killed Pagan Min. Don't know if that was like a sucker trap.
No, you really were not supposed to do that because it just ends the game immediately.
Okay.
Hopefully you have a checkpoint you can load.
Okay.
I really didn't expect you to do that.
Dude, I have the opportunity to shoot
Pagan's
somebody in the
dead.
face.
Good, brother.
Yeah,
Of course I'm going to take that. Let's see here. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, quit to desktop. So I don't know if this is going to work or not. But that was the end of the game, right? I guess this game has multiple endings. Clearly.
yes, that was an ending, but again, you're not supposed to do it. That's the game trying to hint at you that staying there at the very beginning actually is the real Kanan ending, because he's admonishing you for the fact that you didn't.
Yeah.
But of course, no one's going to, because otherwise you don't get the game. The way to play the game is to not listen to him.
Right.
So, it's just them being cheeky. But yeah, if you just put them there and the game ends, they're like, okay, tough guy, you really don't want to fucking find out more, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'll be able to get back in or not, but I was like, yeah, I mean, if I have an opportunity to shoot a guy in the face, of course I'm going to take it. I'm playing Far Cry. This isn't fucking Animal Crossing.
Well, if you can't get back in, then I mean, it certainly wouldn't be spoilers now for you to go through the thing, because otherwise he would have just explained everything to you right there. But we'll see what happens.
All right. So, can you just tell me what happens if I can't go back? Yeah, it looks like I can't. Oh, well.
There may still be game, which could explain things. I don't know.
Okay.
'Cause I've never seen anybody do that before.
Well,
but yeah, the I don't know how long it would take for you to get there. But like, do you want me to just give the game away right now?
Yeah, go ahead. I beat the game. I saw the end credits. When you see the end credits, the game is over.
Okay, so Pagan Min actually does want you to stay there, and the secret Kanan ending is that you do stay there so that you can scatter your mother's ashes together.
I guess that's it then. No more mayhem and destruction.
Oh, they might be doing the thing right now. We'll see.
I really love what you
All right, let's see.
It'll be set. You go, put it on the shelf, as it were. Gathering
I haven't actually said anything other than what Pagan himself said a few minutes ago.
some unfinished business, perhaps. Loose ends, isn't it?
Okay, I'm pretty sure this is just literally like the open world portion of the game, where you can just dick around. But it does say there's one more campaign mission left.
Well, then go do the mission, I guess.
I need to stock up here real quick.
Brother, now that Pagan is gone, his forces at Rajgar are confused and disorganized. You should strike while the iron is hot and seize the fortress of the Golden Path.
Okay. So the only mission location I see is the two stoner dudes. So
Come on! Breathe! Get him back, AJ! I know what I'm doing! Jeez, did it work?
Just gave me CPR. What do you think?
All right, you have a go then.
No, me? No. It's AJ's turn.
Oh, right, it is.
Don't worry, AJ. I've got a good feeling about this band. It's called the Hubbly Bubbly. Things are much better down where it's wetter.
I'm gonna regret this, won't I? You're not gonna stab me with something?
Oh, fuck, right, can't forget that.
Don't worry, we know CPR.
Yeah, I'll go down there.
Alright, so let's see what happens here. Honestly, I hate doing these damn missions, the stoner missions. They don't work well in a game like this. This is like something that you would do in a third-person game, I think. Oh my god.
What the hell? Where am I?
Okay. Go ahead, kill me. Just kill me already.
I think I got an ad break. I don't know if there's one active.
Yeah, I think that lines up. But I'm pretty sure this mission has nothing to do with the main story. This is just one of the dumb stoner missions that I hate doing. I'm just doing it because it was the only mission on my map. So I just want to get this thing the hell over with so I can move back to the main story. I hate these stupid fucking stoner missions, man.
Yeah.
You haven't touched any of my stuff, right? Okay, now it says all the campaign missions are done. So yeah, I think I probably
Okay.
didn't see
Yeah,
the
yeah,
link.
you fucked it. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
Oh well.
I mean, it's an option, but yeah, you just ended the game for yourself. So anyway,
So I'll dick around for a little bit, then do the true ending thing.
yeah. Yeah, just do the true ending now, and then call it.
Alright.
There's really nothing else to do.
Okay. Let me, I need to get somewhere. Alright.
They're going to be exterminated. I need help. The world is reliant on these. If they're allowed to die, none of us will last much longer. My bees.
Alright. So I'll go ahead and do a new game. I guess difficulty doesn't matter at all. So I'll do hard. Wait, this game only lets you have one save? What the
Do you
hell?
want to go back to play
No, but I'm just saying, like, what is this, a fucking Game Boy game?
I guess. I don't know.
Like, what the hell? That's something that would be on, like, a fucking Pokemon cartridge.
Yeah. Say something really quick.
What?
Okay, for some reason, there's just no audio coming from the game right now. On the stream.
Yeah, it's for me as well. I think I
It's
remember
really
this
strange.
happened the first time I played it. This is like some kind of a glitch or something.
Oh. Well, as long as the sound eventually comes back,
It
that's
will,
all that
it will.
matters.
Yeah, this cutscene looks way better than the cutscenes in the game. Yeah, I think the actual hard cutscenes in this game like this are just really, really quiet, because there was another one near the end of the game, and it just occurred to me it had this same problem. Wish there was a way to skip all this and just get to the banquet.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
It's still weird for me having Troy Baker's voice come out of a guy who looks like that. I don't know, he doesn't look like somebody who should have Troy Baker's voice, I gotta be honest. Right, so yeah, that cutscene had muted audio, but now that we're actually in-game, it's fine.
Give my congratulations to Ashley on your next visit home. I must say, Paul, your little corner of Kiratu is rather beautiful. I expected more. Chains and wailing, but knowing you, somewhere around here is a dark place where the secrets flow like the blood. That wry smile betrays you again, Deplour. Well, go on, take the bloody bag off his head.
Again, terribly sorry for what happened before. This is more what I had in mind. So, fresh start. Introductions. Ajay Gale, our guest of honor. Paul, our very gracious host. The little monkey, whose name I still don't know. And I, of course, am Pagan Min. You really don't remember me, do you? Your mother, she never spoke of me, never mentioned me. No. We'll change all that. Paul, I need cash.
How much do you need?
All of it. Thank you. Here we go. All right. Like this with a smile.
That's you.
That's me. Although I'm not so sure anymore. Now, your mother, on the other hand, she understood me. She knew me in a way that no one ever did. That takes me back. The last time I saw Ishwari was years ago. She told me she loved me. Women, they can do that. They can tell you they love you in the moment and mean it. Men, on the other hand, no, men only really love you in hindsight. And too much distance is built up. So, when your mother decided to flee to the United States with you on her hip, I couldn't help but blame myself. Then I realized it's not me. No. It was the fucking Golden Path. Those fucking terrorists, they ruin everything. Like dinner. Did no one ever teach you that it's rude to text at the table? Let's see it. Give me the phone. Really, guys? We're not checking for these anymore? I'm with Ajay Gale. You'll love this part. Help. A text for help. You don't text for help, you cry for help. So come on, you're gonna cry for help. If you're gonna do something, you're gonna do it right. Here we go. Go on. Cry for help. Cry for help.
Help.
Oh, pathetic. No, cry for help.
Help.
You mean it, boy.
Help.
Help from your diaphragm. Help. Shh, 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 shh. Now we listen. Nothing. I'm afraid they're not coming for you, buddy. Oh! Find out what he knows. Terrorists, right? Now, please, stay right here. Enjoy the crab rangoon. Don't move. I will be right back. Yuma, we need to talk.
Alright, so I just hang here.
Yeah, just sit there.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Come on, pagan men, get back here. There's no button I can push to eat the food, is there? That'd be pretty funny. Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
No, the only thing you can do is accidentally push a button that'll make you get up and leave, which would fuck the whole thing up.
Right.
Now remember, they have to make it take a while because you're supposed to discover this on purpose.
Right. Makes sense to me.
nice meme and everything, but that's incredibly pointless.
I know. Pretty amusing, though.
Should have said something in chat when you started doing this so that it'd be time stamped.
Right.
We'd be able to do like keep track of the time that this takes. Around 15 minutes. Shit.
Really? Well, that just seems unreasonable. It didn't take 15 minutes in Far Cry 5, did it? Because remember, Far Cry 5 had the fake ending too?
Right. Yes. And that one, I think you can just leave.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it was definitely much faster.
Yeah, you could never find this by accident. I will give them that. I could see doing this for like 5 minutes and then figuring there was nothing there, but damn. Okay, here we go. We did it.
Oh, fan-bloody-tastic. You, sir, are a gentleman. I
Hooray.
sincerely apologize. We saw terrorists in the area and yada yada. The Crab Rangoon, right? It's... fabulous. Well, come on, let's go.
Yes, NBA Centel did actually get banned. Big country.
3-point landing. You know, part of me is surprised your mother asked for you to bring her all the way back here. Thank you, Kamran.
You want me to follow?
Jesus Christ. Yes, boy, the ashes aren't going to scatter themselves. Did your mother ever tell you about your father?
Never know.
Mohan, the great protector of the Golden Path. He was a cunt. He hauled your mother out, sent her to spy on me. But we fell in love. We had a child. And that is when Mohan showed his true colors. He drove you and your mother away. He even killed your sister, Lakshmana. Which brings us here. Lakshmana shouldn't be alone anymore. I'm so glad we're finally back together. After you.
I thought we were supposed to scatter them, not display them.
Oh, good. You feel better now?
Bro, we got an ad break literally right when you left.
Maybe now we can finally shoot some goddamn guns.
The timing is unthinkable.
Okay, credits are rolling, so I guess nothing really happened.
Oh, well, I can explain everything to you there.
Okay.
Like Pagan said, he and your mother fell in love and had a child together. So your father, who's a complete asshole, killed your half-sister. And your mother wanted you to bring her ashes here because she wanted you to know who she considers to be your true father. He's not actually your blood father, but he's essentially, a much better father to you and everything. But the thing is that, if you play through the normal time, you don't shoot him there. Then you find all this out anyway.
Right.
That, he had that relationship with your mother and had a half-sister who was dead and all that kind of stuff. But, this country, you've got the rebels who are trying to take over, but both factions are shitbags. Both factions are led by people who are really bad, evil, monstrous people. And Pagan's not exactly a good guy himself, but, he's like a Gaddafi type, where he's a strongman dictator in charge of a country that's filled with brutal monsters.
Right.
So, when you do that, you fulfill your mother's wishes, which is the actual point of why you came here and what you should have been trying to do the whole time. And by this time, you should have already discovered that the rebel groups that you can side with are total shitbags. And what you actually do in this ending, because he says, now let's go shoot some guns, is you're not only his official son now, but you're his heir. So you and he work together to take down the rebels and make the country stable again.
And we don't play this, right? It's just implied. It's not like now there's
Right,
some
you
20-hour
don't play that. The actual game is to help one of the rebel groups take over, but both of them are shitbags.
Okay.
And both of them end up enacting very bleak futures for the country. In your playthrough where you killed the sister, what ends up happening is that the brother creates a very highly theocratic society, and the reason that he's supposed to be shitbag is that he oppresses women, lol. Like, essentially it becomes a Muslim theocracy dictatorship kind of deal.
Right.
Where I don't know if they're actually Islamic, but I say that because he basically turns the country into Saudi Arabia.
Right.
And the sister turns it into like some anti-religious communist hellhole where, it's just as bad, except this time there's no monks or whatever. But the point is, both of them essentially try to use you and your status as, which is why the game actually just ends if you kill pagan men there. It's because everybody's got to find out the relationship that you had with them so that they can rule through you essentially as a figurehead, claiming that they have legitimacy here.
Mm-hmm.
So they're both shitbags who do that. And the true ending is that you actually just did what Pagan told you, and you find out that, he was actually, he may have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy. And you go on to become the legitimate future ruler of the country.
So it's kind of like what they did at the end of Far Cry 5, but good.
Yes.
In a way. Because it makes you realize that the bad guy actually is not a bad guy compared to the... Like the bad guy was right all along. A different way of doing that.
Yes.
So that's actually pretty good. I have an appreciation for that.
Yeah, I thought you would.
So if you don't kill him, basically he's just like, okay, let's go set your mother's ashes and let's go shoot some guns. Basically the same ending I just got.
Yes, except it's not actually the ending there. There's still substantial amounts of game left if you don't shoot him.
Oh, really?
If you don't shoot him, then he comes clean with you and you get that story segment. But then he says, you know what? Fuck this country. I'm out of here. So he gets on a helicopter and he flies off into the sunset. Now you have the opportunity to shoot him, shoot the helicopter down, and then that's a valid way that you can kill him, and the game actually continues instead of just ending immediately. But if you loot his body, you find the pen on him that he uses to stab the guy at the very beginning of the game there.
Mm-hmm.
And the pen was a gift from your mother, and he's kept it with him all this time because it has an inscription on it of like, I'll always love you, I'll always be with you kind of deal.
Yeah.
And after that, you actually put the person who you sided with in charge of the country, and then they give you a little like wrap up of what the country's like under their rule. And it ends up being shitty for both of them.
Okay. So the only good ending is the ending we just did. The only good scenario is that one. Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty funny. And then I guess after Golden Path Leader X takes the throne, you can choose to kill them. And then presumably take the throne yourself, I guess. I don't know.
I think those are options. It's been ages.
Mm-hmm. So it kind of felt like Pagan Min wasn't in the game that much. And I've been told that Gus, or you know, Giancarlo Esposito in 6 appears even less, so... Amusing.
Why are you driving the taxi? Shimmy, shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy. Kolkata, Bangalore, Naya Delhi, Bombay. Hyderabad, Mysore, Bache, Pondicherry, Borivali, Kundivali, Bombay. Shimmy, shimmy. But just to twist like this.
So blacks are really mad at the bill to cut Medicaid and food stamps and everything.
Right.
And they're like, oh my God, remember Republicans did this. Never forget, 0 Democrats voted yes. Republicans did this, don't forget. And it's like, do we really need to go back to the exit polls to show you that blacks overwhelmingly vote Democrat and always have? Like, do you think anyone fucking cares? Oh no, the Republicans will lose the black vote next election. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
By the way, the budget doesn't even cut those things. It just cuts things that may end up being that, but could easily end up being other things depending on what else they're able to find. So everyone needs to calm down.
I know, it's just giga fucking stupid. Man. I don't know why it took so long, but I finally found a weapon in Fallout 4 that actually does decent damage.
What is it? Is it a sledgehammer?
Let me see here. Which is funny because I spec'd specifically into fucking melee weapons and shit. But this is like the strongest gun in the game in terms of like on a per bullet basis that I managed to get. There's 120 ballistic damage, 50 radiation damage, 45 caliber gun. It's a radium rifle because it's a rifle that does radiation damage. But it has a special effect on it that says it ignores 30% of the target's damage resistances. So I'm able to cut through a lot of the toughness that they get from the extra difficulty and also the armor and everything that they're wearing. So I kill people so fast. No, compare that to like, in terms of just pure outright damage, the most damage that I have, especially because of the way that I'm spec'd, is I have a special sledgehammer that does over 400 damage in a single swing with 3 different types of damage that it does in a calculation. And yet it's still barely fucking, like, it tickles people because it can't cut through their damage resistances. Everybody's just so tanky.